you're in your 20s and you're feeling so lost, you're not alone.
Okay, no, but can we talk about this one? Because when adults said that your 20s were meant for you to have fun and do what you want and travel, they weren't reading the fine print. And the fine print clearly states that the results may vary. With me being 6 years into the 20-somethings, I can very confidently say that it's still giving very much what the okay? If I could describe your 20s, I see it as your first decade of adulthood. So while I may be 26 chronologically, I'm really only 6 in adult years. And when I put it in those terms, it helps me to give me more grace and chill the hell out. For a lot of us in our 20s, especially in this day and age, it has not been that pleasant of an experience. I gotta be honest with y'all. And there are so many older folks who don't seem to understand that their experience of being in their 20s in the 90s isn't the same experience today, okay? So to all the 20-somethings who are watching this, give you some grace. Learn to detach your age from certain life milestones. Take this life thing day by day.
Let's start off by saying this is not my audio. I know this is not my audio. I will be sharing their TikTok account in the description if you want to go check out the original video. I could not have been more happy to stumble across this video than I am now, because for a very long period of time, and when I say very long, I mean ever since I moved to South Carolina, I have been struggling with trying to find my identity, I guess. For the longest time, as I've mentioned plenty of times before, I am sheltered. I had barely a personality or interest of my own. I mean, yeah, I had things I did on my off time, but to actually go out and do things and virtually have any thought of my own to do whatever was just out of the question. I only did half the stuff I do now was because I met my boyfriend, Chad. If it wasn't for him, I feel like I'd still be living with my mom because I had no idea how to adult. I had no idea how to think for myself or do anything. My mom is proud, or quote unquote proud, that I'm out doing adult stuff, but I didn't do this on my own. I didn't learn any of this. And now that I have somewhat of an understanding of how to adult, which by the way is like 2% of how to understand because rules keep changing as the game plays on, but you know, that's how life is, I guess. I'm still trying to figure out in between the amount of time I'm supposed to be adulting in my free time what it is I'm actually trying to do with my life. And yes, all these adult people keep saying, oh, you got plenty of time, you're young, and you don't need to rush, and you're only 24, and blah, 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 but I still feel like I'm running out of time. For as long as I can remember, even before I became an adult, I think it had to have been shortly after I graduated. I was obsessed with time. I still am. I'm always checking the clock, always like mentally keeping a schedule, because I don't write down schedules. I can't stand doing that. I have to keep everything in my head. And it drives me insane, because if I am running behind because of one little mishap, it's going to drive me crazy. I cannot stand it. With all what she said, basically I'm just hounding myself to try to do adult things before I'm pretty much ready. And she was, I'm assuming 26 at the time she's recording that video. I'm 24, so that means I am 4 years old in adult years. I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself to do all these things, and yet it's pretty much normal for people my age to not really know what I'm doing. I always run into people who seem like they've done far more than I have at my age. And I guess that's why I give myself such a hard time. There's so much more I wish I would have done when I was in my teenage years, because it probably would have helped me discover who I am, or at least have somewhat of an idea. But right now I am just a blank slate. I'm a blank canvas. I got art block right now. I got no idea what to put on this canvas. Got no idea how to write my own story here. I'm still trying to discover like what it is I'm interested in, wanting to try different things just to see what I like. And I did have this discussion somewhat with my brother. He wasn't too happy about it, but I guess after some conversations between each other, we finally had an idea of what it is I'm looking for. And for the longest time, I've been trying to make friends. It's been really hard, like really hard. Harder than I think it should ever be to make friends. And some people can just do it naturally. Like my boyfriend, for example, he can literally talk to anybody and somehow act as if he's known them their entire life. We're both Libras. Our birthdays are a day apart. And he's almost like a polar opposite of me. I can't say I'm an introvert, but whenever I do work up the courage, whenever I do have that little bit of confidence in me to walk up to somebody and say, hey, you look cool, let's be friends, it kills me whenever it doesn't go all the way through. I found myself being stuck at a step one process where conversations to like build up your connections with people do not really connect because it's always a one-sided conversation. I have a better chance having a conversation with my front door than a human being, apparently. But getting off track a little bit here, I have been trying to make friends so I can get to the next step, seeing what kind of things that other people are interested in and spending time with them and not always doing the things that I like to do. I mean, I like to go out and try to surf. At least I'm learning how to surf. I want to learn how to skateboard. I want to try to do more outside physical stuff. And if I'm not outside, I'm playing video games. I'm drawing. I'm using my sewing machine. But that's pretty much about it. I don't really have much going on else in my life right now. So, going out and, spending time with other people, I want to see what they're interested in. Just to try to develop my own personal interests a bit. Heck, I might find something I actually like. I didn't know how to karaoke or go to the range or some other stuff, but all that stuff I've learned because of Chad. But if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have done that. And it's nice to try new things, see if I like it. I did karaoke for a bit, but now I'm a little, nah. Going every once in a while doesn't hurt, but, I wouldn't have done it at all if it wasn't for him. But that's what I'm trying to do. I want to try to do new things. I want to try to explore new places and try out new stuff. And heck, be interested in doing new sports or whatever. But making those connections are a little tough. And I feel like I'm running out of time because, like I've said already before, 24 years old. And I've heard people who are 21 bouncing, bars from place to place. They're out partying. They're out late at nights at their friend's house. I haven't been invited to someone's house yet. I haven't spent a night at someone's house since I was in middle school. I mean, I can't imagine people my age are doing sleepovers, but I'm always at the house. And I've made a post at one point stating, oh, how is it that I'm really young and responsible and didn't get pregnant at teen years old, and yet I'm still inside the house as though I am a at-home mom. The most I actually do is go straight to work and straight home. On Fridays, I tend to try to go to the beach, but that's not obviously the entire year, so what else do I got? All this stress on top of stress, trying to figure out what it is I want to do, and then getting upset when I'm this close to actually making progress, only for me to realize I haven't moved a step. It's quite stressful. Seeing this video stating that I am obviously giving myself a hard time for no reason. Obviously things has changed in this time period. It's not as easy as just going out to an arcade and running into a lot of people your age who like to do the same things. Everything's also expensive on top of that too, so it either kills people's motivations to go out, or it's just not easy to go out and just enjoy yourself in your own space. And that's not to say I don't go out and enjoy myself in my own space. I do, but there are times in which I'm reminded, hey, yeah, you're alone. You see those group of people over there having fun? Yeah, that's not you right now, is it? And it sucks. It really does. It is relaxing to see a video like this, stating that you shouldn't give yourself such a hard time. It's still sad that it's even like that in the first place. A lot of things has changed. For example, I'm pretty sure nobody gives a crap, but Halloween. It's my absolute favorite holiday. I absolutely love it because it's the one time in a year I can dress up without anyone looking at me like I'm crazy. And it doesn't cost a lot of money because I don't have to go to convention to do it. So I can dress up as whatever I want. And get candy, yeah, hello, that's cool. But obviously I'm 20 freaking 4, so that's gonna be a little odd jumping from house to house asking for someone else's candy. And unfortunately, Halloween costume contest parties and stuff like that isn't regular, so I don't do that as much. So whenever it comes to Halloween and I want to give out candy, it's not like it's gonna happen. 2 years in a row I tried giving out candy and nobody came to the house. I lived in trailers, I lived in homes, I lived in apartments, and not much happened. Last year I had one singular trick-or-treater and I didn't even have candy because I just didn't think about it. But still, what's going on? I remember when I was 7 years old. Everybody was outside and now nobody is. And of course, going off a holiday isn't necessarily fair, but it still shows time has changed. I think the only holiday anyone gives a crap about nowadays is 4th of July. It's the most American holiday and everybody seems to give a damn about it. But Christmas comes around, good luck seeing any lights, but times have changed. It's nothing like easily available. Not everybody's up to doing that. Oh, and let me also mention everybody's attention spans are a lot shorter. Have you noticed songs are like barely a minute long? I haven't had a phone call conversation with somebody I've met in real life in as long as ever. Usually whenever I have a phone call with somebody, it's to ask for directions or ask for information. But never like, hey, how's it going? Let's have a talk. Usually those conversations are reserved for Discord conversations, and that's people I've never met in my entire life. Still, I wish that things were different. Because I don't want... It might sound disrespectful to those who are 30, but I don't want to hit 30 when I finally actually do something. Because if we are going off the whole, I'm 4 years old in adult years, I don't want to wait till I'm 10 or 15. I want to still do stuff when I'm in youth. And like, contrary to popular belief, but women's youth, we age like milk. Spoiled milk. We don't really keep our youth very well, so I would prefer to have some fun while I'm still young. After like I'm 30, I'm pretty much packing it in. I'm like, alright, that's done. We're going to hit the road and finish things off. I got plans to do with my own, like guest company, or, you know, the smallest business you'll ever know. But while I still have a chance, I want to do something, because at this point I might as well just sit down, hunker down, make kids, and go to college and stuff that requires 90% of my attention. But I don't want to. I have all the time in the world to go out and do things, but unfortunately not all the money, and definitely not any friends. I have like maybe one or two, and like it took almost 3 years to actually go out and spend time with one person I've ever met. But if we're going on a good note here, I would suggest listening to what this lady said. It makes a lot of sense. Even though towards the end of my rant I was going against it, it still makes a lot of sense. I'm just dealing with my own issues here. Even though it makes a lot of sense to me, I still will find some way to argue against it because I'm still, I guess, programmed to my current ways. I will always still be obsessed with time. I'll always still give myself a hard time because I just want to go out and do things. I'm getting cabin fever here. Yes, I do go out and do things, but like, there's not much of a story to tell here. But I shouldn't give myself a hard time. There are plenty of people my age who are not doing much. People who are much older than me who are not doing much. There really is no rush, I would say, I guess. So I guess I'm just open for whenever something good does happen, or whenever something does come my way. Either way, I got all the time in the world. Hey everyone, this is Leanne. Thank you guys for getting this far into the video. If you like this video, be sure to check out my previous video, Job Means Money, where I discuss how annoying it is for people to assume you have all the cash just because you have a job. If you want to see more videos like this, be sure to check out my playlist as well. Also, as I mentioned before, the audio I used at the beginning of this video is not mine. Check out the link for the TikTok original poster. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this.